Hello, welcome to Pop Culture Maniacs podcast. You should know us by now if it's your first time. I'm Kieran. With me is Jean. We talk about films, TV most of the time, maybe venture into a few other areas. And this time we are going to be talking about the popular sitcom Derry Girls. So yes, we as we all know, Derry Girls set in 1990s Northern Ireland, particularly Derry or Londonderry, depending on your persuasion, follows a group of teenage girls and one lad in the city during the Troubles. So it came out on Channel 4 in the UK. It's available on Netflix in most of the globe. So, Jean, do you want to tell us how you got into the show?
Oh yeah, I saw it on Netflix, and I had heard from a few TV critics that I respect that they loved it, and I figured I'd give it a go. And I absolutely fell in love with the show. It's sensational, and I've been recommending it to everybody I know here in the States, and I'm thrilled to see it catching on the way it has been over here.
Yeah, because when it first came on, because it was advertised heavily by Channel 4, um, they obviously knew they had a big hit on their hands. And I didn't watch it when it first came out. I watched it on all four because I think it was back when we had in 2018 the Beast from the East, and I just ended up binge watching the whole show in one day because it's 30 minutes episodes, 30-minute episodes, 6 episodes. It was a quick and breezy watch, and I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the perfect show, which is kind of amazing. It's got an incredibly talented cast. It's genuinely funny, but it also has, some important things to say, not only about, the time it's set and what was going on in Northern Ireland during the Troubles, but also about what it's like to be, a teenager, particularly a teenager in a Catholic school, which I'm very familiar with from my own life.
Yeah, I would say because within the UK, it's the in-betweeners has had a massive effect on a lot of sitcoms afterwards. So, and I would say Derry Girls does follow the in-betweeners formula really well because the main characters, they are very similar to the four main characters in the in-betweener. So Aaron is the quote unquote normal one, like Simon. Ula is pretty much Neil, a bit of an oddball, a bit dense. Claire is like Will, sort of a bit more neurotic, and Jay and Michelle and Jay are pretty much the ones that are the two that big each other up so much. And obviously, Derry Girls has the added factor of James, the wee English fella.
Oh, James is the best.
Because he's English. Yeah, but and it does seem to be because with Derry Girls, it does seem to be following the sort of same trajectory as the In-Betweeners, because it's already had 2 seasons, it's having a third, and they're already planning on having a film, and obviously that's the same thing that happened with the In-Betweeners.
And I think the interesting thing, for us here in the States is that we don't usually get comedies centered around, teenagers, or at least we haven't in the last, 15, 20 years. We tend to get family comedies or a comedy that's just about most of school life and that sort of thing. So we don't really get shows like Dairy Girls here. They tend to be, dramas or dramedies. If we're going to get a teen show, it's going to be 90210 or Dawson's Creek or Pretty Little Liars. It's, super over the top and dark and dramatic because, for us here, the idea of teenagers are dark and dramatic characters who everything's, life and death. So it's kind of refreshing to have a show that's genuinely funny about teenagers.
Yeah, I think it's because it's set in the 90s as well. You get a lot of nostalgia factor. I think for people for our age group, we get a lot because a lot of the mute, particularly for me, because obviously a lot of the music's quite familiar to me.
Yeah, I was a child of the 90s, so yeah, I mean the soundtrack's great. I love it.
Yeah. And you something like because obviously second season they had the story with where they go to the Take That concert because obviously, yeah, I remember the sort of the Take That phenomena when it was around first time, and then they reformed about two times as well. They're quite popular over here.
Yeah, I do remember hearing about Take That. I mean, never got as popular here, but I'm familiar.
Yeah, generally, with the obviously got a great set of characters with Derry Girls, but it's also quite amazing when you rewatch scenes. I think we particularly I think Louisa Harland as Ula, she's probably actually the most under. You really appreciate her performance more if you rewatch it. Like you sort of see her small little actions sort of in the background, like in the second episode of in the first season, where they're pretending that the that the IRA broke into the chip shop and like should we should we beat him up a bit, make him look like make it look a bit more genuine. Like everyone's shaking their heads, and Nula's the only one nodding.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing that I really love about the show is that it's essentially about Erin since she's the main character, but every single one of the supporting characters is well written, well thought out, and well performed. I mean, like Sister Michael, like she's just incredible. Like the sarcasm, the you understand exactly what she's feeling and how annoyed she is by everybody that she has to deal with, and it's all relatable. Like everybody's relatable on the show, and you get to see these little ticks, these little facial expressions, these little movements that give away so much more than just the dialogue.
I think, like, yeah, with something like Sister Michael, I like that she. Well, again, this is sort of when you make the comparisons with the in-betweeners. She's a bit like Greg Davis's character there, like the sort of no nonsense teacher. Though I do like that she, despite her this what, despite the image she she has she does have those sort of more softer moments, sort of like at the very end of the season two, when she pretty much tells Jenny that don't you shouldn't it's once a lifetime to see the president of the United States. Why didn't you dare? Why are you here in school? And obviously, no, it's played out more as a joke, but it's sort of like when in the second season when she goes, she touched us, and he goes, she what?
Yeah, nobody's one note on this, and
Yeah,
nobody's just the bad guy, or just the stupid one, or just the shy one, or you know everybody has layers, which for a sitcom is not an easy thing to do, and they've
yeah,
managed to do it in such a short time, which is
yeah.
particularly impressive.
Yeah, say the later because like one thing I really like is like with Erin, she likes to see herself as very enlightened and liberal, but when she's actually has to face with it, certain issues, she's not as liberal as she thinks she is.
Exactly. That was one of the things I really appreciated, is that you know the person she shows the world, on a lot of shows about teenagers, they have that thing where the kid thinks one thing, but the audience clearly knows it's not quite the same because, we're older and we've been through it, or we understand more than they do. But in this, they'll present something, like Erin is liberal because she says she is, but then they'll slowly tease it out so that it's not so much the audience automatically knows it's not true, but you see throughout actions, and they show us and don't just tell us that a character has the wrong view of themselves.
Again, we like I say with all the characters, they do get softened up a bit, or in Claire's case, it's more she gets hardened up. Like with Michelle, because she's always showing like the one constantly berating her cousin because of just because he happened to be born in a different country, but and seems to be the one that's most willing to abuse him. Yeah, I think she had to be the one that gave him had the speech that to encourage him to stay in Northern Ireland instead of going back to England. She was the one that had to give that speech. It couldn't have been any of the other characters.
Yeah, and it fit with her arc and it fit with her character, and it wouldn't have been the same if Aaron or Claire was like, "Hey, you should stay." No, it had to come from her. It had to be her accepting him and letting him know that he really was part of her family.
Yeah, I like to think with her, it's like she's willing to take the mickey out of him, but she'll be the first to defend him if anyone did anything to him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's very, very classic sibling. It's I'm the only one who's allowed to say that about that person. You can't say that because then I will hit you so hard.
And it's a lot of relatability with the show, because even it's just like with some of the family stuff, like ordering us how many bags of chips to order, or showing them raiding the Christmas cupboard, and as Jerry says, look, it's April, like what, you could restock.
Yeah.
It's also because obviously with the actors are actually a lot older than the characters they're meant to be playing. Obviously, there's obviously practical reasons, because obviously if you hired actual teenagers, they've only got a certain amount of hours. But like the actress that plays Claire, she's actually like 34 and she's still playing a teenager,
Which is pretty impressive because she does it so convincingly.
Yeah. I think a series third season of the movie though is probably partly because to prevent the show from getting too stale, because I think they couldn't keep it going forever, but also as a practicality reason before the actors get too old, because like with the in-betweeners it was getting less and less. By the second movie it's getting less convincing that they could still be playing teenager when they were pushing 30.
And Derry Girls comes with the historical implications as well. That if they really want to make it about growing up during the Troubles, well, eventually things kind of peter out and get not perfect, but they get significantly better, and so that's going to be pulled from the story. So they're going to have to work that in as well.
Yeah, because I think you said in a previous podcast you reckoned that it will probably end with the Good Friday, or at least they'll approach the Good Friday agreement, because season 2 ended with Bill Clinton's visit to Northern Ireland.
Yeah, so they're getting close.
Yeah, I do like that they don't. It's not like I would say Northern Ireland. It is a lot more complicated than like some people try and present it to be, because they obviously like show certain like Protestant characters, and they obviously have their own issues. Like obviously, like the first episode of season 2 was across the barrier, so then obviously nearly some of them try and shack up with the Protestant lads, and I think they said they're trying to pass us around as a piece of meat, and basically I'm going to say, yeah, I think you can get where I'm going with it. They do try and show that it's not a simple case like Irish nationalists good, unionist Protestants bad, or vice versa.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I really appreciate about it is it could easily have just been about, that, the Irish Catholics are the good guys and the Protestants are the bad guys, and we don't like them, and this is all about how horrible it is and how this should be Ireland and all that. But they don't, and they keep it, very realistic for what teenagers would be thinking at the time. Like you said, like, they wanna hook up with the Protestant lads because why not? It's dangerous and it's something our parents would hate, which is something, everyone can look back on their teenage years and remember something they did because they knew it would make their parents mad.
Yeah. And there's all like with getting like Michelle, she's the one that relates James for being English, yet she has absolutely no qualms about, as I said, hooking up with a Protestant lad, helping out the Protestant lad who ends up being mistaken as a Ukrainian exchange student, or I'd say like in the first episode, like so, she joked that she had an incendiary device in her knickers and get a British soldier to search her.
Yeah, I mean, it's still
Yeah.
grounded within what teenagers would be up to and what they would do. It's not, a superly overtly political story. And it's clear, who everybody is and you understand the political situation going on, but it's never not about what their day-to-day life is like.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was like Lisa McGee's aim when she made the show. She didn't want it to be all about show that Northern Ireland was more than bombs and sectarian violence and division and all that. People did live normal lives. It's just they did. They were they were just living that. I said they were just living their lives.
Yeah, and it's they're living their lives, and this is the situation going in around them, which is very different than what most Western teenagers would have to go through. So it's a slightly different worldview, but it's never dominating the story.
Yeah. We should talk about because the actors have also done quite well since appearing in Derry Girls, because obviously I know it's Nicola. Don't know how to pronounce her surname, but Claire. She's Coughlin. Yeah, thank you. She's because she's also in Bridgerton now, so she's done all right. Saoirse-Monica Jackson. She recently has been cast in the Flash film, so great for her. And
see what she was going to end up doing because she's excellent.
Yeah, I saw her in a short film where called London Fairy, and she was really good in that. Also, I think Jamie Lee O'Donnell. She's got a TV show in the works as well. And I also saw her in a short film where she's completely different, because she's plays a character who's got like severe anxiety issues, so severe stage fright, and basically her art is she has to be willing to embarrass herself by walking a banana.
That is very different from Derry Girls.
Yeah. I mean, Nicola Coughlin, I pronounced it right?
Yeah, Coughlin.
Coughlin, because she was probably the one that was probably best known out of the main cast. Well, beforehand, because she did an episode of Doctors, which I say is a show great for young actors to sort of cut their teeth in with a one-off TV role. And she was in Harlots, and Dylan Llewellyn was in Hollyoaks. But I think the rest of them, they weren't so well known out of Ireland. I know that Jamie Lee O'Donnell, she did a Northern Irish show, but I don't think it was even shown in the rest of the UK. And I said the other Louisa Harland, I never even saw her except for never even seen her in anything. I think she mostly worked in Ireland.
Yeah, I mean, I suspect, as the show continues to get more popular, I know a ton of people who watched it during the pandemic and are super involved and love all these actors. I suspect in the next, couple of years, we're going to see a lot of them.
Yeah. I think with the second season, as they did get more guest stars, and I think at least for a British audience, they were a lot more recognisable, because I think the most recognisable was Ada O'Harlan, who's best known as playing Father Dougal and Father Ted, and he's has done a lot of work in the UK. Obviously, probably one of my favourite guest stars was Kerry Quinn, who was in the Take That episode, because she was in Corrie at the time as well, or Coronation Street, and James's mother was in Hollyoaks as well. Ironically, they were actually in Hollyoaks at around the same time. So yeah, that was quite interesting.
A lot of soap actors crossing over.
Yeah, probably because the most well-known actor was it Ian L. He basically Grandpa Joe, because obviously he's best known for Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that was a fun surprise, I think, for everybody who
Yeah,
saw it. Was like, oh my gosh, it's Barristan. What's he doing on the show? He's funny.
yeah. And the guy that plays Aaron's dad, he's apparently a big comedian in Ireland, but uh, and his other major role that I know him for is Wolf Walkers, which I highly recommend because it's a very good animated film.
Okay, I'll put that on my list then.
Yeah, it's on Apple TV.
Well, I have Apple TV, so I can watch it.
Yes, so yeah, I highly recommend that. So yeah, obviously a lot of them have done very well. They're also very, particularly with the main cast, they're all on. They do engage quite a lot with their fans on social media, and they've done a lot also outside of Derry Girls, and as sort of because they've did a Crystal Maze special. Most of them did a they did a Bake Off special, didn't they?
Which is also awesome.
And they did a special thing for like RTE, like Irish public broadcaster, for charity for the pandemic, and their special guest Saoirse Rowan.
And they just did a Red Nose Day one as well, which was particularly really funny and kind of played off that RTE sketch. Those both are on YouTube, so if you want to check them out, really funny.
Yeah, so they really, they're all five of them, they really are a unit together.
And they play so well off each other. It's great to see.
Yeah. So with Derry Girls, was there any particular favorite episode or favorite joke?
Personally, I love the reveal of Claire as the wee lesbian, because I just, the way they keep saying wee lesbian over and over again, it has to be one of the funniest things I've seen. And just Claire's indignation about the whole thing is just, it's priceless. And it's a chance for a character who doesn't often get to be the center of the show to actually like get on her own 2 feet and stand out in a way.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that was probably quite a realistic portrayal of how coming out would go, because like the French shock, and as we touched on, Erin not being as enlightened as she thinks she is.
And then Erin immediately making it all about her and about her acceptance and how, she's a good friend for it, which is just so on brand for the character.
Yeah. I would say I think my favorite episode was the concert, because I think it just generally a quite fun travel episode. Obviously, you got all the characters getting a chance to shine again. Erin showing that she's not as liberal as she thinks she is, because obviously you go playing into the stereotypes about Irish travellers. And if you think the main cast accents are hard to understand, nothing compared to the Irish traveller accent, isn't it?
Oh no, that was a rough one.
Yeah. And as I said, I think Kerry Quinn was a great guest star in that one. And I did like I like the bit in between us. They don't do as much gross out humor, those they do occasionally, like obviously having to handle a dead sheep and then realizing James is not there, and then then you think like, look, voting on whether to pick up James or go to the concert, and then Erin saying like, James has the tickets. You think, why didn't you lead with that point?
Exactly.
So yeah, it's 12 episodes, soon to be 18. Apparent. There was one other little nugget of a special they did, because Erin and Ula were meant to be were in the closet doing like a vlog whilst their whilst the parents were arguing, or there was something something went on. I can't remember exactly, but that was quite a fun little like a 2-minute skit.
I haven't seen that one. I'll have to look for it.
I think I found it on Twitter. They posted it on their Twitter pages. So as we see, we've basically gushed over another show. though obviously I think when we do these discussions, we don't really want to do ones where do shows that we don't like.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah. But there is like a farce if it's something so bad that you get a rag on it, but obviously you don't want to suffer through like many episodes of television, can?
No, you
Yeah.
don't.
So yeah. I think there's one thing, because I've only ever watched Derry Girls on the Channel 4, because I think isn't there some rights issue, because like with some of the music they can use, because in the scene when Ula does a step aerobics at this talent show, what was the song they used on the Netflix version?
I don't know off the top of my head.
All right, because it's no, because it's definitely on the Channel 4 version. It's Like a Virgin from by Madonna. That rings any bells with you? Well, obviously the song, obviously, but if it was that song that played in the scene.
That would have been a perfect song.
All right, I just wasn't sure, because like sometimes like there's rights issues. The same like with something like Peep Show, they change like in early.
It was Like a Prayer, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, that was Like a Prayer. That's what I meant, not Like a verb. Sorry, my mistake.
Yeah, they
But
did
it was a Madonna song though.
It was Pray by Take That is what they used for us.
All right, I see. Yeah, but yeah, because I was going to say with Peep Show, they've like sometimes they've edited, so like earlier versions of the DVD have a different song to what they used for later prints, and for like for 4OD and Netflix. So it's a bit annoying when that happens.
Oh yeah, it's totally annoying, and it's the reason why some of my favorite TV shows can't be on DVD. It's the rights are really annoying.
Yeah. Oh, one final point, because to show the popularity of Derry Girls in Derry, they've got a mural in the city centre now of them.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So it's kind of a bit of like a local tourist attraction. So it's and as I said, it is pretty much or very near the city centre. It's not like it's on like a housing estate, which most people wouldn't go to.
That's pretty crazy, and it
Yeah.
must be extra crazy for someone like Jamie Lee, who's from Derry, to like have her face in the middle of town.
Yeah. No, Jamie Lee, she's from Belfast. It's Saoirse-Monica, she's the one that's from Derry.
Yeah, it's crazy that like your hometown, suddenly your face is in the middle of town.
Yeah, I would say with her, what I do like about her is her facial expressions. She's so good at various facial expressions.
Oh, she's a great physical comedian.
Yeah, but I think we've gushed over Derry Girls for long enough. So thank you very much for listening. Please like us, comment, share, and follow us on various social media. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye.